Welcome to the deep dive. This is where we really get into the heart of a topic, using the sources you've given us.
Exactly.
And today, well, we're jumping into Italian grammar fundamentals.
Yes, based on the Italian grammar, second edition QuickStudy language guide you provided.
Right. So our mission really is to pull out the key stuff, the most interesting bits from this guide.
Kind of like a shortcut, yeah. To get a solid grasp of how Italian actually works.
From, how words sound, pronunciation.
To the core grammar, the structures that make it unique.
So let's get started. This guide, it's a great resource, but we want to shine a light on the principles that'll really give you a leg up.
Not every single tiny detail, but a really practical, solid base you could build on later.
Okay, sounds good. So let's start with, well, how Italian sounds. The alphabet, it looks pretty familiar, doesn't it? 21 letters.
That's right. Basically the English alphabet minus J, K, W, X, and Y.
Ah.
You'll only really spot those in words borrowed from other languages, loan words. But the really crucial thing, right from the get-go, is that pretty much every letter in Italian gets pronounced.
Yeah.
And usually quite clearly.
And I saw something about accented vowels, too, that adds another layer.
It does. Those accents, IA,
Yeah.
IO, I, they each signal a specific sound.
Two kinds of accents, acute and grave.
Yep, though the grave one, pointing down to the left like on I, is way more common.
Okay.
Think of A like father, A like met, or like mate, O like paw, and O like moon, but often a bit shorter.
And they actually changed the meaning.
Oh, absolutely. They're not just for show. Take E.
Which means and.
Right, versus A.
Which means is.
Exactly. Tiny visual difference, huge meaning difference. It's critical.
Got it. Pronunciation is definitely key. So let's dig into some specifics. The guide mentions C and G having different sounds.
Yeah, this is a classic one. It all hinges on the vowel that comes right after them.
Okay.
So if C or G is followed by an I or an E, you get a softer sound. Think she in church for C, and J in George for G.
Right.
But if they're followed by A, O, or U, or, and this is important if there's an H inserted in between,
The H.
then they keep a hard sound, like C in cat or G in go.
So like chia, that C is a K sound.
Exactly, because of the H. Or ghiaccio ice, that YA is a hard G sound, again, thanks to the H.
That silent H really does change things, doesn't it?
It does. It doesn't make a sound itself, but it kind of shields the C or G, making sure they stay hard, even before an E or I.
Okay. Now, the guide also says E and O sounds can be a bit tricky. Two ways to say them.
Yeah, they can be subtle, even for native speakers sometimes, apparently. It's the difference between what linguists call an open and a closed sound.
Right.
For O, maybe think of EO so.
I know.
The O and I is usually more closed, like go,
Okay.
while the O in so is often more open, a bit like the aw in law or paw.
Something you develop an ear for, I guess.
Definitely. Practice and listening.
Now, what about those letter combos, like GN and GL? They make some really unique Italian sounds.
They really do. GN plus a vowel gives you that nigh sound, kind of like the middle of onion, but, smoother.
Like in stegno, disdain.
Perfect example. And GL plus a vowel usually sounds like the L in million.
Ah, like aglio for garlic.
Exactly. Those sounds really contribute to the music of the language.
And Q seems to follow a strict rule.
Pretty much always. Q insists on having a U after it, and then another vowel.
Like quando, quinto, quello.
When, fifth, that one. It's a very reliable pattern, that QU combo.
Okay. And S. Sometimes voiced, sometimes unvoiced.
That's right. Depends on the consonant right after it. It's usually voiced like the Z sound in roses before B, D, G, L, M, N, R, or V.
So in words like smetter or slancio.
Right. To stop, momentum.
Yeah.
And stegno, again, all have that voiced Z-like S sound.
And overall, it feels like Italian pronunciation really highlights the vowels.
Absolutely. The vowels really get to shine clear and resonant.
Unlike English sometimes, where consonants can dominate.
Exactly. Consonants tend to be a bit softer, letting those vowels ring out. Think ragazzo, G-A-H-T, or chiesa, K-H, church. You really hear those vowels clearly.
Okay, great start on the sounds. Let's pivot to something really fundamental, numbers. Cardinals, ordinals, always useful.
Definitely. The guide lists them out from 0 right up into the millions, milioni.
I noticed something about how they write large numbers, with periods.
Yeah, where English uses commas for thousands and millions, Italian uses periods.
Okay.
Though for numbers like 1,500 or 9,000, it's often optional.
Yeah.
But once you hit 10,000, that period becomes pretty standard.
And there's sometimes an accent on tre,
Yeah.
3.
Yes, when tre comes at the very end of a bigger number, like 23, 23, or
Yeah.
33, 33, it gets that little accent mark.
Good to know.
Also, cento, 100, doesn't change form for the plural. It's always cento.
Okay.
But mille, 1,000, becomes mila in the plural.
Yeah.
So 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3,000. And if you're talking about millions or billions of something like un milione di persone, a million people, you need that little word D before the noun.
Got it. Now, ordinals, first, second, third, these follow gender rules too, right?
They absolutely do. They have to agree with the noun they describe.
So, il primo posto, first place, masculine.
Right, but la prima volta, first time, is feminine, prima.
Okay.
You have unique words up to 10th decimo. After that, you add issimo for masculine or isima for feminine.
Like F in English. So 11th is?
Undicesimo or undicesimo. 20th is ventesimo or ventisima, and so on.
Okay, makes sense. Let's tackle those small but super important words, articles. The F. Seems like Italian has more of them.
That's a really key point of difference, yeah. It can trip learners up.
I bet.
Italian articles must match the noun. Gender and number singular or plural.
Okay, so let's break down the definite articles. Masculine first.
Right. For most masculine singular nouns, it's il, like il libro, the book.
Simple enough.
But if the noun starts with a Z or an es plus another consonant,
Like studente.
exactly, lo studente,
Yeah,
or lo zio, the uncle, you use lo.
Okay, lo.
And if the masculine noun starts with a vowel, both il and lo get shortened to lin, like l'amico, the friend.
Got it.
And plurals, il becomes I. So i libri, the books.
Right.
And lo and le both become gli in the plural. So
Yeah.
gli studenti, gli zii, gli amici.
Li. Okay, now feminine articles.
Bit simpler. Most feminine singular nouns take la casa, the house.
La.
If it starts with a vowel, la also shortens to le, l'amica, the female friend.
Like the masculine vowel rule.
Exactly. And for the plural, both la and le become le.
Yeah.
So le case, le vince. And crucially, le never gets shortened, always le.
Okay, that's the forms. But when do you use them? You said they pop up more.
Yeah, that's a really good observation.
Hmm.
Italian uses definite articles in places English often skips them.
Like where?
Well, for general concepts or categories, like you'd say il buon amore porta la felicità.
The good humor brings the happiness.
Literally, yes. Meaning good humor brings happiness.
Yeah.
Or geography, la Francia è un bel paese. France is a beautiful country.
Hmm.
Also with days of the week for habitual actions. Lavoro la domenica means I work on Sundays, like every Sunday.
Ah.
Names of languages often take one, though it's optional sometimes with verbs like parlare, to speak. You can say parlo l'italiano, just parlo italiano.
Right.
And in possessives, il libro di Paolo, literally the book of Paola, for Paola's book. And when you talk about parts of the body, you're doing something to mi lavo le mani. I wash the hands, meaning my hands.
Wow. Okay, so they are definitely more widespread. What about A or N, the
Yeah.
indefinite articles?
These are a little less complex, thankfully. Still depends on gender, though.
Sure.
Masculine is usually un libro, a book.
Un.
But same exception as before. If the masculine noun starts with Z or S plus a consonant, you need uno. Uno zio, an uncle.
Huh.
Uno studente, student.
Uno. Got it. Feminine.
Usually una.
Yeah.
Una casa,
Yeah.
a house. But if the feminine noun starts with a vowel, una shortens to un. Un'amica, a female friend. Note the apostrophe there.
Un. Right. Okay, quick detour. Capitalization. The guide says Italians use fewer capitals.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. More minimalist.
So what isn't capitalized?
Days of the week, lunedì. Months, gennaio. Nationalities, italiano, francese. All lowercase.
Huh. Even nationality.
Even the nationalities. Personal titles, too, like signor, dottore.
Okay.
And in titles of books, movies, articles, usually only the very first letter of the first word gets capitalized.
Oh.
Of course, proper nouns like countries, cities, Italia, Roma, those are still capitalized as you'd expect.
Right. Okay, let's get to the main event in sentences. Nouns. Gender and number, that's the key, right?
Absolutely. Every noun is either masculine or feminine, singular or plural. And the best advice is always learn the noun with its definite article.
Yeah.
That helps lock in the gender.
Good tip. So the typical pattern.
Most common. Masculine singular nouns end in O, plural in I. like posto becomes posti, place places. Ragazzo becomes ragazzi, boy boys. O to I, okay, feminine, and end in a singular e, plural. Casa becomes case, house houses. Ragazza becomes ragazza, girl, girls.
A to E. Got it. But it's not always that simple.
Nope. There are definitely exceptions and other patterns. You've got nouns ending in e in the singular. These can be masculine or feminine.
Oh, tricky.
But they almost always become I in the plural, like il fiore,
Mm-hmm.
flower, becomes I fiori. Le stazione, F station, becomes le stazioni. See, both end in E cap plural.
Okay. Any other odd ones?
Well, there are a few common feminine nouns ending in O, like la mano, hand, which becomes limane, plur I.
Monomani. Right.
And some feminine nouns ending in E, a, or u, that just don't change in the plural. La crisi stays la crisi. La città sta la città.
Okay. They're invariable.
Exactly. There are also some endings that usually signal a feminine noun, like ione in decisione, or ice. And some nouns have distinct male and female forms, like scriptor, male writer, and scriptrice, female writer.
Ah.
And one last thing, loan words ending in a consonant, almost always masculine, il bar, lo store.
Interesting. Okay, so we have nouns. How do we describe them or modify the action? Adverbs and adjectives. Let's do adverbs first.
Right. Adverbs modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs. The most common way to form them is to take the feminine singular form of an adjective and add mente.
Okay, so rapida, quick, feminine, becomes...
Rapidamente, quickly.
Chiara.
Chiara, clear. Feminine becomes chiaramente, clearly.
And where do they usually go?
Generally after the verb, but before adjectives or other adverbs they modify. Lei è molto simpatica. She's very nice.
Yeah.
Cantano molto bene. They sing very well.
Molto bene. Bene doesn't end in menante, though.
Good catch. There's a bunch of common important adverbs that don't follow the rule.
Yeah.
Bene, well, male, badly.
Yeah.
Troppo, too much.
Yeah.
Molto, very much.
Yeah.
Sempre, always. Subito, immediately. Just have to learn those.
Okay. Now, adjectives, the describers, they have to agree too, right?
Oh, yes. Agreement is king in Italian. Adjectives match the noun in both gender and number.
So the typical endings.
Like nouns. Masculine often O, singular. I, plural. Allegro, allegre, happy. Feminine often A, singular. E, plural. Allegro, allegre.
Okay.
There's also a big group ending in E in the singular for both masculine and feminine. These become I in the plural.
Felice, felici, happy.
Right, like those E nouns.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And a quick note, color names that are also nouns like rosa, pink from rose, or maroon, brown, they don't change, they're invariable.
And position, usually after the noun.
Generally, yes. Adjectives usually follow the noun they describe.
But sometimes before. Does it change the meaning? It can, for some common ones. This is a subtle but important point. Una vecchia amica isn't just an old friend age-wise, it's a friend you've known a long time. But una amica vecchia is specifically an elderly friend.
Okay.
Same with grande. Un libro grande is a large book. Un grande libro is a great book. Position matters sometimes.
Wow. Good to know. Any adjectives that always go after?
Yes, ones formed from nouns with certain suffixes like el, ico, oso. Like historical from story, history, always follows the noun.
Okay. Comparisons. How do we do more, less after us?
For more and less inequality, you use più, more, and
Yeah.
meno, less, before the adjective or adverb. Più interessante, more interesting. Meno bella, less beautiful.
And the
Usually D when comparing two different things on one quality. Maria meno alta di Lola. Maria is less tall than Lola. But you use che when comparing two qualities of the same thing or comparing verbs or nouns. Gianni legge più di Maria. Gianni reads more than Maria. Gianni è più creativo che scolastico. Gianni is more creative than studious. Depends on what you're comparing.
okay, the for che and equality as tall as dola.
You use either cosi.com or tanto quanto. The words in parentheses are often optional, so Lola è alta come me or Lola è tanto alta quanto me. Both work.
Got it. Superlatives. The most or least.
Simplest way, put the definite article, il, la, etc., before the più or meno adjective construction. Il più interessante, the most interesting. La meno famosa, the least famous.
Okay. And that issimo ending. What's that?
Ah, the absolute superlative. That means very, extremely. You add issimo to the adjective stem.
Yeah.
Bellissimo, very beautiful. Le case bellissime, the very beautiful houses. It adds intensity.
Bellissimo. Okay. The guide also mentions demonstrative, possessive, interrogative adjectives briefly.
Right. Demonstratives like questo, this, and quello, those generatives, point things out and agree in gender number.
Questo, quello.
Possesses mio. Tuo, your, huo, here it's your formal, etc., agree with the thing possessed, not the possessor. This is a big difference from English. Il mio libro, my book, libro is mask, but la mia casa, my house, casa is fem.
Ah, agrees with the noun. Important. And interrogatives, asking questions.
Like quale, which variable, and quantuai, how much many? They help form questions and usually agree, except for che lingue parli. What languages do you speak? Quanti libri hai? How many books do you have?
Okay, lots of agreement rules. Let's connect things. Conjunctions and prepositions.
Sure. Conjunctions are the glue words, e and o or ma, but
Yeah.
simple ones. Then compound ones like perche, because why? Percho, therefore.
Connectors and
We're-
prepositions. Show relationships.
Exactly. Words like a, tot, into, da, from show, su, on, con, tra, fra, between, among.
Standard stuff, but then there are contractions.
Yes. This is really common in Italian. Simple prepositions like an, di, de, da, in, su merge with the definite article that follows them.
So a plus il becomes...
Al di plus sol becomes de lo, in plus la becomes nella. There's a whole table of them. Vado al cinema. I go to the cinema. Il libro dello studente. The student's book.
You really need to know those.
Absolutely.
Mm.
And the plus the article also forms the partitive, meaning some or any. Vorrei dello zucchero. I'd like some sugar. Ho comprato dei libri. I bought some books. Very useful.
Okay. Negation. Saying no. How does that work?
Basic negation is easy. Put non right before the verb. Non parlo italiano. I don't speak Italian.
No. Simple.
But Italian often uses double negatives, which are incorrect in standard English. You use none with other negative words like niente nulla, nothing. Nessuno, no one.
Yeah.
Mai, never. Più, no longer, more. Neither. No.
So, non vedo nessuno. Literally, I don't see nobody.
Exactly. Meaning, I don't see anyone. Or, I see nobody. It's standard Italian. The only exception is if the negative word like niente or nessuno comes before the verb, then you drop the non. Nessuno parla. Nobody speaks.
Okay, double negatives are okay sometimes.
Got it. Pronouns. Big topic. Replacing nouns.
Huge topic. Let's start with subject pronouns. Io, I, tu, you informal. Lui, lei, esce you formal. Noi, voi, you plural informal. Loro, they, he plural formal.
But you said we don't use them as much.
Generally not in everyday speech or writing because the verb ending tells you who the subject is. Parlo clearly means I speak. You only use them for emphasis or clarity sometimes. And note the formal, lei and loro.
Right. Formal, you. Okay. Object pronouns. Direct object.
These replace the noun receiving the action directly. Me, ti, you in for, lo, la, him, it, her, it, you form. Si, me, you, them, mf, you pluriform. They usually go right before the conjugated verb. Lo vedo. I see him. It.
Okay. Indirect objects. To me, for her. Similar forms. Mi, ti, glile. To him, to her, to you form. Ci, vi, loro. To them, to you form. Again, usually before the verb, except for loro, which usually follows the verb. Li parlo, I speak to him. Parlo loro, I speak to them.
And what happens when you have both? Like, I give it to you.
Ah, combined pronouns. The indirect comes before the direct. Mi, ti, chi, vi change their I to an E when followed by lo, la, li, or le. So mi plus lo becomes milo. Ti plus la becomes tela.
Me lo tela. Okay.
And li to him and le to her formal you both combine with lo le to become hielo, hiela, hieli, hiere. It covers all third-person combinations. Maria te lo dice. Maria tells it to you. Glilo do. I give it to him or you.
Wow, Glilo is efficient. Okay, what are stressed pronouns?
You use these after prepositions or for emphasis. Make, me, you, ver, puedo, him. Sele, himself, herself, yourself form. Lorose, them, themselves. Vieni con me. Are you coming with me? Parlo di te. I'm talking about you. Lo faccio io. I'll do it.
Okay, after prepositions mostly. Reflexive pronouns.
These show the subject is acting on itself. Me, myself. Ti, yourself. Si, himself, herself, yourself form. Se, myself, yourselves. Piella, vi, yourself, PLO. They go before the verb. Mi alzo. I get myself up. And remember, mi lavo le mani. You use the definite article for body parts, not the possessive.
Right, wash the hands, got it. Possessive pronouns. Like mine, yours.
Yep. They look just like the possessive adjectives, mio, tuo, etc., but they usually have a definite article in front, il mio, la tua, I suoi. They stand alone and replace possessive adjective plus noun, questo libro è il mio, this book is mine. And they still agree with the noun they replace.
Okay. Interrogative pronouns, asking who, what.
Right. Chi, whom, Che cosa? Or just cosa? Quanto hai? How much many? Chi parla? Who's speaking?
Cosa fai?
What are you doing?
No, it drops the E before
Wait.
del problema.
What is the problem?
Qual è? Good tip. What about ne? That seems unique.
Ne is super useful. It generally means of it, of them, or about it. It often replaces a noun phrase introduced by de, of, or quantity.
Like?
Quante sorelle hai? How many sisters do you have?
No,
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
the ne replaces di sorelle. Or, vuoi del caffè? Do you want some coffee? Sì, ne voglio un po'. Yes, I want a little of it.
Replaces of something.
Okay.
Right?
Relative pronouns, connecting clauses.
Key ones are che, qui, and il quale, la quale, quali, le quale.
Che is invariable, means who, whom, which, or that. It can be the subject or direct object of the relative clause. L'amico che parla italiano, the friend who speaks Italian. Il libro che ho letto, the book that I read. And unlike English that, Italian che is pretty much always required. You can't drop it. Always use che. Okay.
Qui. Qui is also invariable. It's used after prepositions. L'amica con cui studio, the friend with whom I study, or to mean whose when you put the definite article before it. Lo scrittore il cui libro ho letto, the writer whose book I read.
Il cui libro.
Okay.
And il quale.
Il quale and its forms, la quale, i quali, le quali, agree in gender and number. They can replace che as a subject or direct object, sounds a bit more formal, or replace qui after a preposition. L'amica con la quale studio. Gives more clarity sometimes.
Okay, more formal alternative. What about chi?
Chi as a relative pronoun means he who, she who, those who, whoever. Chi vivrà vedrà. He who lives will see.
Got it. And demonstrative pronouns. This one, that one.
Look just like the adjectives. Questoi, this one, these ones. Queloi, those ones, they stand alone. Preferisco questo, I prefer this one.
Okay, that covers pronouns. Phew. Now, verbs, the absolute core. The guide mentions moods, tenses.
Yep. Verbs are everything. 4 moods. Indicative, facts, reality, conditional, possibility, hypothetical, subjunctive, doubt, opinion, desire, imperative commands.
Okay.
And tenses can be simple, just the verb conjugated, or compound, using an auxiliary verb avere to have, or essere to be, plus a past participle.
Avere or essere, that's a big one, choosing the auxiliary.
Huge. We'll touch on that. The guide gives conjugation tables for regular are, air, and ire verbs in all the main simple tenses: present, imperfect, past description; preterite, past action, mainly written; future, conditional; and present imperfect subjunctive.
And some ire verbs change stem, like voleiner.
Right. Verbs like finire, to finish, capire, to understand; preferire, add an isk, infix in the I, juhesh, singular forms in the I for plural form, in the present tense and present subjunctive. Io finisco, tu finisci, lui finisce, but noi finiamo, voi finite, loro finiscono.
Finisco. Got it. And irregular verbs, essere, avere.
Yeah, absolutely essential. The guide conjugates key irregulars like essere, to be; avere, to have; faire, to domake; andare, to go; stare, to stabi; volere, want; dovere, must have to, in the present tense. You just have to memorize those.
No way around it.
Nope. It also shows irregulars in the preterite, past definite, which has many irregular forms, especially for common verbs, and irregular stems for future and conditional, plus irregular imperfects for a few key verbs like esser, faire, dire.
Okay. Compound tenses, auxiliary plus past participle.
Exactly. Past participle usually ends in atto for our verbs, uto for air, ito for ire, but many common verbs have irregular past participles you just have to learn. Fatto, done, made; beto, said; stato, been; letto, read; scritto, written. The list goes on.
Right. So choosing avere or essere.
General rule: avere is used with most transitive verbs, verbs that take a direct object. Ho mangiato la pasta. I ate the pasta. Essere is used with most intransitive verbs, verbs that don't take a direct object, especially verbs of motion: andare, to go; venire, to come; partir, to leave; verbs of state: stare, to stay; rimanere, to remain; verbs of change: diventare, to become; and all reflexive verbs. Sono andatoa, I went. Mi sono lavato, I washed myself.
Sono andatoa. So the participle agrees.
Yes, that's the other key difference. With avere, the past participle usually doesn't agree with the subject unless there's a preceding direct object pronoun. L'ho vista, that's how her vista agrees with la. With essere, the past participle always agrees in gender and number with the subject. Lui è andato, lei è andata. Noi siamo andati, loro sono andate.
Always agrees with essere. Okay, that's critical. Let's run through the tense functions quickly. Present, indicative.
Used for general truths, actions happening now; habitual actions, near future; parto domani, I leave tomorrow; past actions continuing into the present; and even historical narrative. Very versatile.
They're imperfect. Imperfecto.
Describes ongoing past actions, habitual past actions used to, descriptions in the past, weather, feelings, setting the scene, actions interrupted by another past action. Think duration or repetition in the past.
Okay. Preterite. Passato remoto.
This indicates a completed action in the past, often seen as distant or finished. It's used much more in writing, especially literature, than in everyday spoken Italian, where the present perfect often takes its place for simple past actions.
Ah, so present perfect is more common for I did.
In speech, yes. The present perfect, passato prossimo auxiliary plus past participle, is the workhorse for talking about completed past events in most spoken contexts. Ho mangiato. I ate. Siamo andati. We went.
Got it. Future.
Futuro semplice. Used for future actions, predictions, probability, or supposition about the present. Do Sara Maria. Where could Maria be?
Conditional. Condizionale.
Condizionale presente. Expresses possibilities. Hypothetical situations. Vorrei un caffè. I would like a coffee. Polite requests. Advice. Future in the past.
Okay. Now the subjunctive. Congiuntivo. This one scares people.
It can seem intimidating, yeah. It's used mainly in dependent clauses, usually introduced by che, that, to express subjectivity, doubt, uncertainty, possibility, opinion, desire, emotion, necessity.
So not facts, but feelings or thoughts about things.
Exactly. Verbs like credere, to believe, pensare, to think, sperare, to hope, volere, to want, dubitare, to doubt. Impersonal expressions, and necessario, okay, it's necessary that. Usually trigger the subjunctive in the following clause. Penso che lui sia stanco. I think that he might be tired using subjunctive sia.
Che is required.
Usually, yes. That che connecting the main clause to the subjunctive clause is vital.
And there are different subjunctive tenses. Present,
Sis.
imperfect.
Yes. Present subjunctive is used when the main verb is present or future. Imperfect subjunctive is used when the main verb is in a past tense, like imperfect or preterite, or the conditional. It's crucial for hypothetical if clauses about the past or present unreal situations.
Okay. Imperative. Commands.
Right. Used for giving orders, instructions, advice. There are informal forms for tu, noi, ovoi, upl, and formal forms for lei and loro, which actually borrow the present subjunctive forms.
Ah, subjunctive for formal commands.
Exactly. And negative commands for tu are different. Use non plus the infinitive, non parlar, don't speak. For other forms, just put non before the positive command form. Pronouns get attached to the end of positive commands.
Yeah.
Parla mean speak to me, but go before negative ones.
Yeah.
Non mi parlare, don't speak to me.
Lots of detail there. Okay, compound tenses. We know the structure. Present perfect, passato prossimo, is for simple past, common, and speech. What about the others?
Past perfect, tra passato prossimo, imperfect auxiliary plus past participle, expresses an action that happened before another past action. Avevo già mangiato quando sei arrivato. I had already eaten when you arrived.
Okay, had done. Future perfect, futuro anteriore.
Future auxiliary plus past participle. Expresses an action that will be completed before another future action, or assumption about a past action. Must have done. When arriverai, avrò finito. When you arrive, I will have finished. Ci sarà stato. Who could it have been? Who must it have been?
Conditional perfect, condizionale passato.
Conditional auxiliary plus past participle. Used for past hypotheticals, would have done. Often paired with the imperfect subjunctive in if clauses. Se avessi saputo, sarei venuto. If I had known, I would have come.
Okay, and subjunctive has perfect tenses too.
Yes. Present perfect subjunctive and past perfect subjunctive, pluperfect subjunctive. They follow the same logic as the indicative perfect tenses, but are used in dependent clauses, requiring the subjunctive, relating the action to the time of the main verb.
Penso che lui sia partito. I think that he has left. Pensavo che lui fosse partito. I thought that he had left.
Okay, that covers the main moods and tenses. What about specific verb constructions? Gerunds.
The Italian gerund, gerundio, ends in ando, are verbs, or endo, are ere verbs. Lavorando, vedendo, dormendo. It's often used like an adverbial phrase showing how, when, or why something happens, often implying simultaneity. Ho imparato l'italiano leggendo molto. I learned Italian by reading a lot. It does not function as a noun like the English gerund. You use the infinitive for that. Leggere è importante. Reading is important.
Right, infinitive as noun. Continuous tenses, like I am reading, formed with a verb stare plus the gerund. Present continuous. Sto leggendo. I am reading right now. Past continuous. Stavo leggendo. I was reading. It emphasizes the action is in progress at that specific moment. It's used less broadly than in English. The simple present or imperfect often cover ongoing actions, and it's not used for future plans.
Okay, only for right now or right then. Reflexive verbs, we touched on those.
Right. Verbs where the subject acts on itself using reflexive pronouns, mi, ti, si, ci, gi, ti, si. Svegliarsi, to wake oneself up. Lavarsi, to wash oneself. Divertirsi, to enjoy oneself. Remember, they always use esseres as the auxiliary in compound tenses. Ci siamo divertiti. We enjoyed ourselves.
Always esser. Got it. Passive voice.
Formed with esser plus past participle, which agrees with the new subject. La porta è aperta. The door is open. It shifts focus from the doer to the receiver of the action. Very common in Italian, maybe more so than in English. Questo libro è stato scritto da un autore famoso. This book was written by a famous author.
Okay. What's this? Si passivante versus si impersonale. Both use si.
Yes, this can be confusing. Both use si plus the verb, usually third person. The si passivante, passilizing si, gives a passive meaning, often used when the agent isn't mentioned. The direct object becomes the subject, and the verb agrees with it. Si vendono cases. Houses are sold, one sells houses. Case is plural, so vendono is plural.
Okay, passive meaning. Impersonal si.
This has an active meaning, but with an indefinite subject. 1. People, they, we. The verb is usually singular unless referring to us. In Italy si mangia bene. In Italy, one eats well, people eat well. Dove si va? Where does one go? Where are we going? With reflexive verbs, it becomes ci si. Ci si alla presto. One gets up early.
Si mangia, si va. Common phrases. Modals. Potere, dovere, volere.
Can't be able, must have to, want to. They are usually followed by an infinitive. Posso andare? Can I go? Devo studiare? I have to study. Voglio dormire? I want to sleep. In compound tenses, the auxiliary verb avere or esse usually depends on the infinitive that follows. Non ho potuto dormire. I couldn't sleep. Dormire would take aver. Non sono potuto venire. I couldn't come. Venire takes esser. Though aver is often used even if the infinitive takes esser, especially if the modal itself is the focus. It's a bit flexible.
Okay, usually follows the infinitives rule. Last one, present participle.
Ends in ante or ante. It functions mainly as an adjective or sometimes a noun, agreeing with a noun it modifies. It does not function like the English present participle, the ing form used in continuous tenses. Think interessant, interesting. Pesant, a bit boring. Un cantante, a singer. Un enseñante, a teacher.
Adjective or noun, not verb form. Got it. Wow.
It was a whirlwind tour.
It really was. A true deep dive into the essentials of Italian grammar, all pulled from that Italian Grammar 2nd edition guide. We've hit everything from the alphabet, pronunciation quirks,
All the way through articles, noun genders, adjective agreement, those tricky pronouns.
and the massive world of verbs, moods, tenses, auxiliaries, constructions like passive and subjunctive.
Hopefully breaking it down like this gives you a much clearer picture, a solid footing for understanding how Italian fits together.
Absolutely. Recognizing those patterns, like how an accent changes meaning or how much info is packed into a verb ending, it really helps you appreciate the language.
It's logical. Even if this seems complex at first, it's a foundation, whether you're learning for travel, work, family, or just because it's, well, beautiful.
Couldn't agree more. So here's something to chew on as we wrap up. Think about all these details, the sounds, the agreement rules, the way verbs carry so much weight. What part of Italian grammar do you find the most fascinating or maybe the biggest hurdle to get your head around?